Morning. All right, this next question is from Melissa. Hello. So Melissa says, I'm in Sydney. That sounds very nice. Where we are sadly at the beginning of what seems to be a second wave of COVID-19. I'm taking it. Australia did very well with the first wave. But yeah, as long as there's virus anywhere in the world and people move around to some extent, it's going to be a risk. Yeah, it's hard for any country to completely shut its borders unless it's totally self sufficient. And I don't know if any country is totally self sufficient anymore. Like everybody gets trade from somewhere and probably needs it. Yeah. Anyway, that's not virology at all, is it? No, it is not. All right. So let's see. It's been reported that there are actually more like regular bugs this time of year, like colds and flus, I'm imagining, than the same time last year, which is a surprise to me. But all right, yeah, I, I suspect I know why that might be. Let's read on. I would have thought there would be fewer due to social distancing. Yeah, and increased cleaning and just awareness. Yeah, I get you. And same thing. I would have thought the same. Um, could poor cleaning, like using the same cloth on many surfaces, could that be the difference? You know, we're doing a bad job. Probably not. Could there be more mutation in rhinoviruses and stuff like that, which is one of the common cold viruses? Probably not. And fun fact that because why not? Rhinoviruses are actually in the group now that's called enteroviruses, meaning like intestinal virus. And that's the same group as polio is in. We used to try and separate them because we said that, the lung is not an intestine, your nose is not an intestine. But it turns out that as far as the virus is concerned, they're pretty much the same thing. And very closely related viruses, one will go up and the other will go down. Yeah. But that's, again, not related to your question. What I wonder is, are there more people that are reporting illnesses this year because of that awareness and because they're worried that it might be COVID coming back? And a lot of the early symptoms of something like a cold or a flu are going to be very similar to COVID. So, flus and colds are just always undercounted, always, 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 because yeah, I mean, how many times have you had a cold or a flu? Okay. And how many times have you reported it to whatever the local Australian CDC equivalent is? Yeah. I'm guessing the answer is none, although it may be that you do this every time, in which case thank you. You're actually part of the statistics. But yeah, I've had several, you know, diseases of unknown origin. You don't really know what they are, you just know you feel terrible. And yeah, I don't think any of those have ever been recorded in the stats. And so there are statisticians that try to mathematically model how many people might actually be infected based on how many people are actually showing up with serious symptoms or something like that, but it is complicated. And so, yeah, I wonder. I think looking at the severe influenza like illness cases, like hospitalization due to, they'll call them ILIs, influenza like illnesses, that will be a good marker. And if those are actually up, then yeah, influenza is doing fine despite the presumably increased social distancing and contact, which is again very surprising to me, but something worth investigating. It's presumably spreading by some way that is not affected by whatever changes people are making. And so that's interesting. That is an opportunity to look at, okay, what do we have to do now to knock out, the flu? Because once we've figured out, like as a world, Australia's done okay, but as a world, once we've figured out how to knock out COVID-19, we can go on and apply the same principles to other viruses and actually end up with a nicer future rather than a future that's just nonstop viral misery. Yeah, which sounds okay. So that's my guess, but I will be really interested to see what's going on. And I'm assuming this is still fairly early days for Southern Hemisphere flu season. Although now we should be getting about to the middle of it, shouldn't we? Yeah, yeah, mid-July. So yeah, I'm going to take a look at those numbers, and that's my guess. But I do not have the answer to that one, which means it's a very good question. And yeah, I'm going to go look it up and see what I can figure out. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. And yeah, stay safe from whatever's making people sick out there. Not just COVID, but everything. Thanks very much. This has been Ask Dr.